Hello, 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 and welcome to today's episode of Human Better 365. I certainly hope that everyone is having a fantastic week so far. It is Tuesday, so that means that we are talking about time management, organization, and procrastination, which happens to be one of my favorite subjects ever. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Sabrina Victoria. I am the owner of Human Better 365, which is a transformation company. I am dedicated to closing the gap between secular schooling and religion, all that stuff in between that no one really pays attention to, but is vital to living a vibrant life. So basically, what I do is I move my clients forward 90 days at a time in all areas of their life by teaching a foundation of time management and organization. I've been in the self-development arena for well over a decade. I am obsessed with helping people human better. When you add me to your team, I can guarantee to catapult you forward closer to your ideal life, which is what we all want. Listen, I want to know your thoughts. I want to know your thoughts on hiring a personal coach. I would love to work with you. If you are in listening live right now, I would love to hear your comments. Tell me where you're at. Tell me where you're from. Tell me how I can help you. Today, I want to talk about overwhelm. I am going to be doing letting you guys know about a deal that I'm doing right now on procrastination. The link is in the description. It's also on the screen right here. Yes.humanbetter365.com/list of 20. So today I want to talk about overwhelm. Who here is feeling overwhelmed? I feel like most people all the time are feeling overwhelmed. And I think a lot of it is due to all of the stuff. There's just so much stuff in our homes. And we all know that there's all the different ways of minimizing. And that is one of the things that I do talk about actually myself. I have a whole section of my business where I actually go to people's homes and help them organize and declutter and really get down to a nice, beautiful, light way of living. But before I just dump all of that on you, I just want to start simple today. I just wanted to cover some simple things that anyone can do and should be doing in their life. And I just realized that I forgot to bring some of my props, but you'll have to bear with me. So the easiest one that I think to talk about that makes the most sense and most people are capable of really doing, within a 2 or 3 hour time period is all of the paper. All of the paper in our house. We have piles. It's either on the kitchen table, it's on the kitchen counter, it's on our desk of our office, it's on our nightstand. There's just piles of paper everywhere. Bills, receipts, junk mail, catalogs, magazines, school stuff for all of our kids. And the pile just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And when we're looking for something, we know that all we do is just shuffle through the pile for, 10 or 15 minutes. And then all of a sudden, the third time through the pile, you realize you missed it on the, first time go around. And you find that receipt for that one thing that you want to return and exchange for something else, whatever it is. And this pile does add so much extra to our lives because it's just sitting there. It's just staring at us. It's taking up space. We're supposed to do it. We have to move the pile from one area to another area, sometimes from one room to another room. And it's taking up space. So this then creates a excuse for us as to why we're not working on our business or why we're not sitting down as a family or why we're not tidying the kitchen, because this pile is taking up, these areas in our home that give us the excuse of not being able to move forward in our life. So how do we get rid of this stuff so that we can clear our desk off and start that little side business or that side hustle or that little hobby, or we can start sewing or whatever it is. that we know we would like to start doing, but this pile of stuff just keeps getting in the way. So what did I mention? I mentioned magazines, newspapers, bills, junk mail, non-junk mail, catalogs. This is what I am going to recommend. Number one, magazines and newspapers. People, it's 2022. Every single thing is on the internet. Everything. So I actually worked in the newspaper industry. For those of you that don't know, I actually worked in the newspaper industry for 15 years. 15 years. I got out of the newspaper industry because there was no longer print copy. Everything was going online. Their amount of people was shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. As far as delivering the newspaper, the ink for the newspaper, the paper of the newspaper was just shrinking smaller and smaller and smaller. That's the same with the magazines too. Everything is online. So this is what I'm going to recommend. One, call them. Call them, cancel. If you really want a subscription to whatever, Glamour magazine, whatever you're doing, see if you can get it online. A lot of times it's cheaper, more convenient, and it's not sitting in a pile somewhere making us feel guilty for not going through it. So I know that some of, like me, for instance, I grew up with newspapers. I worked in the newspaper industry. I love the newspaper. To me, there's nothing better than sitting down for 30 minutes and just flipping through a newspaper. That just brings me happiness. And I know some of you are the same way with magazines. If you want to keep one magazine versus 5 magazines, you do that. You can do that. However, really have an honest conversation with yourself about whether or not you actually read that magazine. Do you have that magazine sitting around in your house somewhere, not necessarily flipped through? Do you have that magazine somewhere half flipped through? Do you really need to be flipping through that magazine? Or does that lower your self-esteem, make you feel bad about yourself, make you feel like you have to buy more things? A lot of times these magazines, unless it's something educational, like a National Geographic or, the Times magazine, New York Times or whatever it is, Forbes, but even those, there's advertisements in there that make you feel like you should be doing or buying something. So really have an honest conversation with yourself on whether or not those means of media are helping you or hindering you, one, and then have an honest conversation with yourself on whether or not you really want to be sitting down and reading that magazine anymore. Or is it something you feel like you should be doing because you have bought it, but if you hadn't have bought it, then you wouldn't be doing it? So one, if you bought some sort of long-term, like a 5-year thing that's already paid for, you can actually change the address to somebody else. One. Two, you can donate those. So you can give those to doctors' offices, to libraries, to people like me, coaches like me who do vision boards, who need magazines so that our clients can actually sit down, cut them up, and create vision boards for themselves. There's lots of different things that you can, number one, do with the magazines you already have. And then number two, how to cancel it or move it so that it's no longer coming to your house and creating an overwhelmed feeling, pile in your life that is totally unnecessary. Okay. So that's magazines and newspapers. Now, the other thing is bills. Again, we live in 2022. Bills are now automated online. I can't tell you how many bills I used to have. There used to be a stack of 15, 20 bills that I would get in the mail every single month, between the house and the electricity and the water and the credit cards and the insurance and all of that stuff. Now it's down to maybe 2. Because everything I have automatically coming and going out of my bank account through an online platform. And that's something that I highly recommend. That's something that is a great way to be able to shrink the amount of time that you're putting into that stuff, the amount of mental capacity that goes into that. One of the things that I do is the first week of every single month. So the first Tuesday of the month is kind of like my bills day. It's a day for me to sit down, look at my money, check out my finances. I have this whole journal that I create that I created for myself to be able to keep organized with all of my money. Where is it going? What's coming in, what's going out, where is it going, and to go over all of my statements, all of my bills, because everything is in one spot, just with a username and a password. I can literally click through all of my stuff. It maybe takes me about an hour and a half. There's no going to the post office. There's no anything. I get all the collaborations of all of the money of the places that I have. I say, good. I know how much money I have. I know how much money is going out, and I'm good to go for the entire month. It isn't like a bill comes in on the 2nd and then the 4th and then the 6th and then the 10th and then the 16th and then the 22nd. Everything's taken care of on its own through the bank. And there isn't this constant 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, 15 here, 10 here, 5 here, going to the post office randomly throughout the month. It's just one day. I sit down, I figure it all out. I make sure there's enough in all of my accounts to sit pretty. And then I just forget about it. And then I just don't have to worry about it again for another 30 days. It's great. One of the other things that I do is I have a filing system that I wish I would have brought with me. So I have, I think, 8 of these file folders. And what I do is I swap out the last one with the most current one. So just something like this that has your January, February, March, April, May, June. And then that is a great way for you to be able to, as you can see, it's August. So here I have a couple of things in my August folder right there to be able to stay organized. And like I said, every month I'm doing this. So every month I sit down, file everything away. My receipts are also in here. So in the front of every single one of these months, I have all of my receipts piled up. They're paper clipped, except for this little one that's strangling. They're paper clipped. They're organized. They're gone through. They are all accounted for. It's a great way to make sure how much money is going out every single month. Now, I know a lot of people do it differently. Some people organize by all the electricities in one folder, all of the mortgages in one folder, all of the plumbing, all of the medical bills in one folder. I do it by month because I like to know how much money I spent by month. So I run my life very much around my finances and collecting money. Okay, so for me, it doesn't matter what goes where or what or who. It's just how much money went out of my account that month, how much money came into my account that month. That's what I want to know. And after going through everything, it makes me feel good, makes me feel all warm and fuzzy. I file it away and I'm good for that month with all of the things that came in and went, because sometimes there's stragglers. And I don't want one file folder for one little thing that I did at some random time, just sitting in a file in my filing cabinet. I like to know just what did I do that month. So that's just me, and something that I definitely recommend for all of you to do. The next thing is the junk mail. So junk mail, go through the junk mail immediately. This is what I always say when it comes to things that take less than 5 minutes. So anything that takes less than 5 minutes to do, I just like to do right away. Don't even procrastinate on it. So you get the mail, you separate the bills from, or the non-junk mail from the junk mail, maybe flip through it really fast, throw whatever you don't want in the trash, keep what you do want. First step. Okay. Second step is the non-junk mail. So what in it needs to be actually filed away in a filing folder? What needs to be taken care of right now? What is maybe some sentimental things? Maybe you get birthday cards or Christmas cards or a card from your mother or whatever it is. One of the other things that I do, which I forgot to bring as one of my props, is I have a whole box. It's kind of like a shoe box, but it's something I bought from like the Container Store. It's about the size of a shoe box, but a little bit bigger. And it's where I put all of my letters. So all of my sentimental, loving letters are in one area for me to be able to keep as a keepsake. Now, you might just toss those letters, or you might be the type of person just throws letters like that in random drawers in your house. what I recommend is to collect all those letters, and then also any letters going forward to put it in one spot. So either an actual shoebox, which is easy enough. Most of us have a shoebox laying around, or actually just go to Walmart, Target, or in my case, the Container Store, invest in a nice little box, $5, $12 or whatever it is, for a means for you to be able to nicely organize all of those sentimental letters of some sort. Now, the next one is catalogs. Again, everything is online. Everything is online. One. Number two, if you're feeling a sense of overwhelm, the last thing that we need to be doing is adding more stuff to our house. We don't need to be adding more stuff to our house. So I highly recommend to stop buying things. Put a halt to your buying of things for 3, 4, 5 months and just use what you have. Use what you have. Recognize what you're not using. Start donating or selling. I know there was a time in my life where I made a ton of money just selling on eBay, OfferUp, Poshmark, Mercari. There are so many platforms right now where you can actually sell your products and make some really good side money, actually. And then also at the same time, lessen your load for all of the things that you have in your house that is just giving you grief. A messy closet, there's just so much stuff, gives you anxiety. Messy dressers that are all unorganized and not even friggin' folded anymore. Messy kitchen cabinets. There's so many things that we have. So one, stop with the online catalogs, get rid of them, cancel them, whatever you have to do, throw them in the trash. Refuse to buy anything for the next 3 to 4 months. Notice what you use in your house and notice what you're not using in your house, and then start to get rid of some of those extra things that you are not using. I know Oprah said a really cool thing years and years ago. She said, turn all of the hangers in your closet the wrong way. So they're actually like not hooked like this, but they're actually hooked backwards. And at the end of a year, maybe it was either 6 months or a year, it was probably a year because you have to go through all 4 seasons. I live in Florida, so there's only like one season, but you get it. So at the end of the year, whichever hangers are not turned the right way, you just need to get rid of. If you haven't used them in a year, you're not going to use them. One of the things that I have really become really good at is getting rid of things that don't fit me. So I always had this thing of like, I'm going to go back to that size and one day maybe, and blah, blah, blah. If you do go back to that size, great. 100% awesome for you. So proud of you. But you can buy new things. Unless it's like a favorite dress or a favorite pair of pants or whatever it is, keep maybe a couple items if you really want to. But you can actually sell that stuff. And then when you get back down to that size, you can rebuy some items. We also don't need that many items. We really don't. Having a handful of shirts and a handful of pants is really all that we actually need. Sometimes our feelings of overwhelm is just because of this abundance. We have so many things and it just weighs on us. Our messy drawers weigh on us. Our messy closets weigh on us. Our messy shoe racks weigh on us. There's a feeling of guilt. There's a feeling of I have to do all of this. That's just totally unnecessary. So getting rid of things like magazines, newspapers, catalogs will not only save you time and the guilt that goes along with like not going through it and flipping through it and finding value in it, but it also saves you money because you're not looking at things to buy. So donating those things, giving them to doctors' offices, libraries, schools, like I said, coaches like me who make vision boards with their clients. If you do go through, like, let's say you go through your magazines, you're like, oh, I really don't want to throw this out. You can literally tear out which is another prop that I forgot to bring, but I actually have a binder. I have like maybe a 2 or 3 inch binder when I used to collect magazines back in the day, where I actually tore out, certain articles or certain movie stars that I really appreciate, like Angelina Jolie. And I have those now hole punched and put in a binder. You can also put them in a file folder to re-stapled and to read later. So how do we make sure that this doesn't happen again? How do we make sure that this doesn't happen again? First of all, one of the things that I do is I schedule things in my planner. So for those of you that don't know, I have this awesome Envision Your Life 90-day planner that I sell at my website, www.humanbetter365.com. That's my website where you can actually find this planner. It is a planner that I go through with all of my clients so that they can actually better manage their time, manage their energy, manage their attention. It is a phenomenal thing that you can actually find on my website. Highly recommend. The other thing is to make sure, like I said, every Tuesday, first day of the month, I dedicate an hour or two to cleaning up my office, organizing my bills, making sure I'm pulling all the receipts out of my purse and my nightstand and my office, putting them all, filing them away, and getting ready for the very next month. So making sure that you're really holding yourself accountable every 30 days to clean up after yourself as far as all of your papers go. And then this is a great way also, or a great reason also, to sit down and start going over your finances, open up your bank account, any, stocks, 401ks, any savings accounts, any bills or credit cards, trying to get your debt down. This is a great time for you to just sit down and just do an overhaul of what's going on in your life as far as your bills, your finances, your money, just doing it all in one block of time, just a 2-hour block of time. Every single month is a great way to hold you accountable. So I pull out all the receipts, all the bills, I staple, I file, I organize. And what happens is when those piles that are in the kitchen and on your desk and on the dinner table and on your nightstand and on your dresser, maybe even on the floor, I've seen them on the floor even, it will lessen all of this overwhelm because you will see clear spaces. Our minds work better when there are clear spaces in and around our atmosphere. This also will lessen your guilt because when we're sitting down trying to relax with family, trying to watch some TV, trying to maybe get some sun, we know unconsciously that there's stuff that our house needs cleaning, needs tidying. So we can't even sit and enjoy that relaxation time because our brain is reminding us that we have all this heaviness of all of these things that we need to be doing. And this creates guilt, it creates anxiety, and it can literally be changed or altered or prioritize differently if we are working on this stuff every single month. So this is what I'm offering today. I have a list. If you ever wonder why we do this, why do we get to the point where we have just stuff everywhere? Why do we procrastinate things in our life? I have a list, the easiest list ever. So for those of you that are like, I don't want to read a freaking book, I don't want to watch a whole freaking course on this crap, I just want something super easy, super simple to be able to figure out what my problem is. I got you. It is one page. I have literally taken all my learnings throughout my life, or throughout this, 10 or 15 year course of my life, of really figuring out how to manage my time, how to manage my energy, how to focus, how to manage my attention. And I have come up with these 20 ways in which all humans procrastinate. I have it down on one sheet of paper. It literally costs $7. $7. All of the procrastination tactics that we use as humans and just a simple way to overcome them. Sweet and simple. No BS, no fluff, just basics. Super simple. So if you're the type of person where you're just like, dude, I don't want to freaking do all this. It takes so much time. I'm trying to save time, not waste time watching a course or reading a freaking book. Just give me the content. This is the thing for you. This is the thing for you. So it's $7. Click on the link. It's right here in the screen. It's yes.humanbetter365.com/list of 20. yes.humanbetter365.com/list of 20. And this is the 20 ways in which humans procrastinate and use those tactics. I am going to suggest that you click the link below and you will not be disappointed. Every single product that I sell here through the Human Better 365 platform is legit. It is the best of the best. So have an awesome day. And I look forward to seeing that click happen. We'll talk